1, 2, 3, funk it.
Hi, I'm Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, I'm going to be giving you tips on how to create popular pins that will blow up your Pinterest. A while back, I filmed a video explaining how I thought that I became Pinterest famous, and you all really seem to love it. Especially the past few weeks, it's really been taking off, so I thought that now would be a good time to film a follow-up video and explain how you can take your Pinterest game from just pinning other people's things to actually creating your own content to put on your page. I'm going to start off with some overall general tips to help you out with your pins, and then I'll be moving into some more specific subcategories of pins. My first tip is to making sure that the content that you're going to create aligns with what you're already pinning. What I mean by that is, for me, since I am a teenager, my Pinterest is definitely more targeted to teenagers and people my age that are going through similar life experiences, so it would be very out of place for me to pin something about like crafts to keep your kids entertained while in quarantine. Like, that does not really apply to the theme that I have going on my Pinterest. But if I wanted to share art on my page, I could still do that, but in a different way. So it's not necessarily limiting your content, but paying attention to the way in which you present that. So for example, I have posted some of my quarantine art on Pinterest, and by that I'm just calling it visco art. That fits much more in with my style and place on Pinterest rather than titling it quarantine crafts for kids. So again, it's not necessarily limiting your content, but making sure you're packaging it in a way that sticks with your brand. This next tip I briefly mentioned in the first video, but it is to making sure that you're paying attention to what gets more traffic. If you have never created your own pin before, I would recommend, again, looking at the boards that are getting the most traffic, and that could tell you which pins that you're going to create could get more traffic. However, this is not always the case, as sometimes your more popular boards, the pins that you create to go on there might not do as well as pins you create for other boards. So once you start creating your own content for a bit, I would recommend paying attention more to those analytics rather than overall board analytics. Number 3 is to making sure that you're keeping things cohesive and to treat it like Instagram. So besides just packaging things in the correct way, I think it's important that everything looks like it's one of your pins. So some tips I'd recommend for this is, 1, if you're going to put filters on your image, making sure that you're consistent with the way that you edit them. So on your Pinterest board, they all look the same and people can kind of almost easily identify which pins are yours. Also, Pinterest is all about the aesthetics, especially if you are around my age. We're not on Pinterest necessarily for a bunch of ideas. Well, I guess we are on there for ideas. We're on there for ideas of aesthetics. So please making sure that everything you're putting on there is aesthetically pleasing. Now, this does not necessarily mean it has to be like an editorial shoot. Like, plenty of Twitter stuff goes viral on Pinterest, and that is considered aesthetic. So I think you all know what I mean by aesthetic. Take the term lightly, but making sure you're keeping things cohesive and aesthetic. My 4th tip is to use hashtags to your advantage. They are totally crucially key. Whenever I first started creating pins, this might sound stupid, but I did not know that hashtags were a thing on Pinterest. But then I found out that they were a thing. I started using them and my views definitely went way up. Using hashtags is a great way to increase your traffic, just like that. Now I'm going to be moving into some pins that are pretty popular on Pinterest and are relatively easy to create, because I know a lot of them are super unrealistic, like the boyfriend or best friend goals photos that I'm totally obsessed with on Pinterest. Those are like extremely unrealistic to create. I mean, if you ever watched a YouTube video where people try to recreate them, it's very hard. So these are some quick and easy ones to help you out. First are outfit / fashion inspo pins. These are super easy because you're in an outfit every single day. So if you're proud of your entire outfit or an element of your outfit, then you could get someone to take a picture for you or snap a quick mirror selfie or timer cam photo. Then boom, you instantly have a pin that you can pop a filter on and pin it on your board. So for example, today's outfit I'm pretty proud of. I've worn it before and pinned it on my Pinterest. So that was just a simple timer cam photo. I won't say it's one of my more popular pins, but I think it definitely got a few thousand impressions. Next is art pins. Art pins are super easy because if you're like me, you do art all the time. So when you're done take a picture. If you want to, you could head on over to like Visco or Lightroom and do a little bit of light editing. However, I would be really careful when editing art photos because you don't want it to look unrealistic from the way it actually turned out. So normally for this, I might just turn up the exposure, mess with the temperature a little bit, making sure that the colors are staying true to the original piece of artwork. And if I want it to look vintage, I might add a little bit of grain and visco before pinning it. The next category is tweets. This is literally the easiest thing ever. If you see something funny on Twitter, screenshot it, crop it if you want to or don't, add a filter or grain if you want or don't, pin it on your Pinterest, boom, there you go. Or if you're like me, you can type up tweets and screenshot that. Like, you don't actually have to tweet it. I personally don't actually tweet these. I just like type them up in my Twitter, screenshot it, pop it on my Pinterest. There you go. Next is notes. This is the same idea. This is very easy. If you're just feeling like a good old rant, you need to get something out, or you have like this cute little scenario that you've made up in your head of running in a field of wildflowers, like The Sound of Music or something. Type it up on notes, screenshot it, pin it. Those are super popular pins. I see tons of those on my feed when I go on there, and those are super easy. Next is visco, the literal gold mine of popular pins. So I feel like Pinterest was the visco before visco, if you know what I'm saying. So if you see something cute on visco, literally just screenshot that, put it on Pinterest, pop a couple hashtags on it, you will blow up. Trust me, I have had several pins that I have screenshotted off of visco, pinned, and gotten over 50k views on it. It is literally so easy. It kind of feels like cheating, but at the same time, like, you put it on there, so you're going to get the views for it. I would definitely recommend this if you are a visco user. Okay, I know I said earlier that recreating popular pins is pretty hard and extremely unrealistic. However, this is a really good way to find out what's going to blow up on Pinterest. So how do you know what is a popular pin? Because not everything that's coming across your screen is going to be, quote, a popular pin. If you see a pin over and over and over again on Pinterest, it's popular because people are screenshotting it and repinning it. So there's multiple versions of it on Pinterest. So if you want to recreate something like that, it's probably going to get a lot of traction because it's already established a sense of popularity on the platform. Some easy ones like this to recreate would just be fashion photos. I feel like are the easiest ones, like recreating outfits and posting it like I did an Apple Watch picture. That went over 50k views. It's super easy to do that kind of stuff. Again, the harder ones are going to be ones with like more people involved, but easier ones would be just like fashion photos, ones that just involve you, or maybe there's not even people in it at all. The last super easy pin idea that I have for you is music. If there's like a funny playlist you have, like sad girl, happy girl, funny girl, something like that, I've seen tons of pins like that. Or your feels playlist, your hype playlist. If you just screenshot it, maybe add a little art to it, filters, grain, make it look aesthetic. I see so many pins like that blow up. So super easy. Okay, those are all the tips that I have for you on creating pins that will hopefully blow up your Pinterest and make you Pinterest famous. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below any more Pinterest videos that you would like to see. I'm completely and totally obsessed. So any videos related to this that you'd like to see, please let me know. I would love to make them. Be sure that you're subscribed and have the bell turned on. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.
It's not about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.